Hey, good morning, traders. All right, so I want to take a little different direction today and do more of a educational video. I want to, normally I'm in the field of cryptocurrency trading, and today I want to look at Moderna. Some of you know I'm a Packers fan, and I watched the Packers yesterday without Aaron Rodgers, who is currently in isolation due to COVID. And so there was a lot of attention around his being unvaccinated earlier in the week. And resultantly, um, maybe not resultantly, but it's interesting that uh, that news was in correlation with Moderna's drop here. However, the question I wanted to ask is, were we able to see this type of price drop on mRNA, Moderna? Great technology, by the way. I do believe that mRNA technology has a promising future, and there's all sorts of potential possibilities with mRNA. In this case, of course, we're using mRNA technology to treat COVID, and there's a lot of skepticism, as you know, that surrounds that. My goal today is to eliminate any biases that I might project regarding the technology, and let's talk purely about price and technical analysis. Can we use technical analysis to judge what the price movement on this particular stock, mRNA, Moderna, could have been? As you can see, is if you were to short this about 5 days ago, you could have made some huge money, like 75% profits by just shorting, because we dropped from a price around 350 to currently we're at 237. And so that's interesting to watch. And those of you who had shorted this, who had somehow known that this could potentially happen, then congratulations. The way I see it, and I'm normally fairly decent at being able to judge price movement, I really don't see much here that would have indicated that we would drop like this. Of course, these triangles here are bullish triangles for the long term. It doesn't show me any bearish sentiment. If we drop down to the 4 hour, you can see that we do have a bear cross here when our 50 crossed our 200. So there's a little bit of indication there. But overall, on the daily chart, it's just, I mean, I don't see it. I'm not the best at technical analysis, but I do okay. And I don't really see a lot here that would indicate we would have dropped like this. So this drop seems to come off of news more recently. And it may, in fact, be related to Aaron Rodgers being unvaccinated. Now, the way I see it, the media had two choices this weekend with the broadcast of the game. Either they talk about Aaron Rodgers and, you know, discuss the possibility that it was a big mistake for him to make the decisions that he did and go the route he did, or B, they don't talk about him at all and just hope this all goes away. They seem to have chosen the latter. I watched the game yesterday and heard not one mention of Aaron Rodgers. Now, I did have my friends over. We were sitting around drinking beers, talking, so I may have missed something. But we were all very keen on the fact that he was in isolation due to being unvaccinated, and we wanted to see how it was handled. So therefore, we were listening for cues in that regards. I didn't hear anything. So that seems to be the direction that the media took, is just let's not talk about this and hope it all goes away. And you can see today on the daily chart that seems to have some effect. I mean, we went up a little bit. I'm not sure if that is anything to do with it or not. Quite honestly, it's probably just we were over. Look at this. We're way oversold. So that's probably more to do with it than anything. Our RSI is way down there in oversold territory. But anyways, my point is there's not a lot on this chart that I would have been able to see this drop. And so at times while you're doing charting, you have to look to other sources to measure market sentiment. And I often like to turn to Google. Google is my friend in regards to measuring trends. So in this particular case, I think it's important to preface this before I continue with my education here, if you will. It's important to preface that if you are going to be a good trader in this market, any biases that you currently hold, any biases that you possess, you must set those aside. Set that dogma aside. You have to, in order to be a good trader, you have to remain open-minded. Because what's happening here is we are trying to measure the overall sentiment of the market. We don't make money off of our own sentiment regarding a particular product or service. That's not how it works. The market controls the price movement, right? So what we're trying to do with technical analysis, whenever we do these charts, is we're trying to understand how the market perceives a product, a service, whatever it is that we're trading. All right. So if you don't see anything on the charts, you look to external sources. One of the most common sources that I reference frequently, quite frequently, usually when I'm trading cryptocurrency, is Google Trends. So in this case, I typed in some search terms: myocarditis, pericarditis, thrombosis, coagulations. These are all the popular hesitancy reasons that people are utilizing against vaccination. All right, so let's take a look at these trends. And you can see this is since 2004. They were fairly consistent across the board, with the exception of coagulation. Of course, heart disease is a big issue with Americans today. But that aside, take a look at these spikes. And so here in September of last year, we had myocarditis spike for a search. And then in April of this year, coagulation and thrombosis spiked. Now currently thrombosis is on the downtrend, but we have pericarditis, we have coagulation, and we especially have myocarditis on the uptrend. I like to call these indicators. They're like lagging anti-correlation indicators, for lack of a better word. I had a better word in mind, but now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of it. But what I'm trying to say is when you see these trends and you measure the market sentiment, they are lagging indicators. And in this case, it impacts the price of the stock. Our stock in this case is MRNA, negatively. And so as long as you see these trends in sentiment on the rise, these searches measure the sentiment, then the opposite, lagging anti-correlation, that's a good term. Maybe I coined that, I don't know. But the opposite is going to be true in terms of the price. So when the sentiment is so negative about a particular product or service, you can expect that price in the future to drop and to drop heavily. And I think that's what's happening now. Possibly what triggered that is the fact that Aaron Rodgers was unvaccinated and he was on the McAfee show on YouTube and garnered a lot of attention. So he planted those seeds of negative sentiment in the viewership's minds. And it seems to be in direct conjunction with Aaron Rodgers' news. This stock drop, this price movement seems to be directly in correlation, locked in to the news on Aaron Rodgers. The media, again, their strategy was to keep silent, and we'll see if actually this plays a positive role and brings that price back up again. But if that sentiment that you see that I showed you on Google Trends continues to rise, I can guarantee you that mRNA is not going to be doing very well. So, my point in this video was to show you that looking at these charts is not the only way of measuring market sentiment. And we have to get a good beat on market sentiment in order to make accurate judgment calls on price action. We have to do that. And so Google Trends is your friend. And in this case, if you guys are in this stock, whether you're a bull or whether you're shorting it and you're a bear, I would suggest that you use Google Trends, at least in part, to as one of your factors in determining future price movement. All right, guys, hope that helps. Give me a like if you enjoyed this content, if you found it helpful, and post your comments and questions in the comments section. Just please try to stay away from all the politics of this vaccine. We're purely here to evaluate price movement. That's all we're doing, all right? And so I thought by showing you this, I could give you another tool to leverage in your studies. All right. Have a good day, guys, and go Pack Go.